It is episode 190, and I am back by myself. No one with me. And I just want to make sure everyone's clear and on the same page. I don't do these episodes by myself because I love just hearing me talk. I do them because it's hard to get all of us on the same page sometimes, especially around Thanksgiving. Christmas and all that, we have so many days off, it's kind of easier to do. That's why we do the year-end episode. But this was a tough one. So here I am today recording it by myself, and I'll try not to take up too much of your time. But what I do want to, as I'm going to jump right into it, this is Monday as I record this and as I release this. And it is, I mean, for lack of a better word, this is a feel-good Monday for me because, and I'm not going to bore you with too much sports talk, but I am going to jump into this a little bit. It is a great Monday because last night, my San Francisco 49ers put a whipping on the Green Bay Packers. It was a number 1 versus number 2 seed as it stands going into this past week. It is now, the Packers, I believe, have slid down to 3 or 4 after a 37-8 whipping. I'm not going to break down the game. I'm not even going to break down the season for the 49ers, which is pretty remarkable. But I have had a handful of people give me some crap on the Facebooks and even in real life and ask me why I'm a 49ers fan. So I figured I would tell people that at the very least. To start, it's going to go way back to like 80, what year was it? It was like 82, 84 maybe? What? The year Bill Bidwill moved the St. Louis Cardinals out to Phoenix because they were the Phoenix Cardinals before they were the Arizona Cardinals. I was coming into my own as a 49er fan. I guess I would have been 9 or 10 around that age, so God, would it have been 87 when he moved them? 86? Regardless. My brother was a massive Los Angeles Raiders fan, if you could believe that. I know that's another weird thing for some of you. I'm speaking about the Phoenix Cardinals or the St. Louis Cardinals football team and the Los Angeles Raiders. But I wanted to pick a team. Well, first let me start. The first 12 years of my life was probably dedicating to annoying my brother before he went off to the military and all that stuff. And I realized I loved the guy and liked hanging around with him. Now I'm back to really, he's kind of annoying, so I like frustrating him a little bit. That's not true. I love my brother. But the first decade was definitely everything I did was to piss him off. So that said, knowing he was a Los Angeles Raider and that we had lost the St. Louis football Cardinals, and trust me, as a kid, I was a fan. I had a Neil Lomax jersey and helmet. They may have came as a Halloween costume, but the helmet was pretty durable. It didn't have any padding in it, but it was a hard helmet. And man, I wore the shit out of that stuff. I loved the St. Louis Cardinals. Didn't know what I was loving and how futile it was to love on them, I believe in their entire 20-something year span, they were the Chicago Cardinals, or Chicago something before that, but their entire history, they only made the playoffs 3 times, and I don't think they won a game. But that said, I wanted to pick something that like really, really, really was close to the Los Angeles Raiders, but was enough to irritate my brother, and thankfully, in the early 80s and mid-80s, the San Francisco 49ers were starting. And they had already won a Super Bowl in 82, I believe, and then 84 was when Jerry Rice was drafted. So they were in the middle of the best dynasty of the 80s. And that was awesome because they were very close to the Raiders in terms of geography, but they were better, and it really irritated him. So that worked out for me. And it also worked out that they were just super good, and I fell in love with being a wide receiver and all that good stuff because of that. And so that's it. That's why I became a 49er fan. So I'm not a bandwagon fan. I know a lot of people think that. But I do have some good friends on that have been on the show and that listen to the show that know I am, in fact, been a diehard 49er. Listen, I've also been a Duke fan for a long since Christian Laettner. I guess I would have been a bandwagon by jumping on it. But the reason I jumped on that is because when I was in junior high or what have you, the UNLV running Rebels or the felons, whatever they were, the cheaters, they were so popular that I wanted to pick something that was not them. And Duke was like the perfect antithesis to the Rebels, but that's neither here nor there. But so those two teams I've been a fan of for a long time, and every time I cheer for them or post something, I always get someone saying, "Well, it's how smooth is the ride on that bandwagon you're jumping on?" But it's okay. When you're from the Midwest, this is the hat you're going to have to wear. This is definitely the scarlet letter that's going to be thrust upon you by others. But I don't mind. I told my wife last night, Nick Bosa was, with the exception of the Ohio State, which just makes me want to vomit every time I hear somebody say it. Nick Bosa, I mean, I'd make him breakfast. Jimmy GQ also. Although I did point out that I'm fairly convinced that Jimmy GQ spray tans. And you can tell me, he was understudy to Tom Brady for a few years, so you tell me which one is more egregious. Tom Brady sporting Uggs or Jimmy GQ spray tanning? I don't know. But anyway, that's the story why I'm a 49er fan. I also wanted to talk about some local advertising things that I saw this week, namely two vehicles. One, when I was driving home a few days ago, I saw a Lyft in front of me. They have the big Lyft sign in the front, and even this guy had a sticker on the back. But he also had one of those LED lights, like running lights, that rolling lights where you make a little sign, like a hot dog sign, or not a hot dog sign, but whatever it's called, where the scrolling sign. And it said, official Lyft ride, or reach out for a private chauffeur. Just look up, and he gave his name, and it was Alex something, or check him out on Instagram on Flossin in the Flex. And that would be FLOSSININDAFLEX. Now, it caught my attention because Flossin in Defects was kind of a funny name for his Instagram, and if he's got his own private chauffeur, and it's a Ford Flex. So my curiosity was piqued. And I was behind him at a stoplight for a while, so the sign also said, why not take an adult field trip without the fear of getting an adult ticket? Or, tired of dealing with concert parking? Let me be your ride. So all that great. And he may have had a Twitter handle. I don't know. But he had his phone number on there, and I did not get that wrote down. I did get a picture of his light, but it clearly said, check me out on Instagram. So I wanted to share his info with you, and I'd like to share more, but I went to his Instagram, Mr. Flossin in the Flex, and you have nothing on your Instagram. You have a picture, I assume is you. Maybe put a picture of the ride, how clean it is on the inside, maybe the water bottles, etc. Picture of your little scrolling sign on the back, because that's clever. And I would be more than happy to help spread the word, because I enjoy clever things, and I like to put clever things out there to the world. I mean, to a much more greater degree, that's why we reached out to Alex with Bomber Jacket. That's why we've had Andrew on the show, and Mike Schilling, and even Shane of Rock Paper Podcasts. Oh, and especially Matt F. Basler of the Matt F. Basler podcast. More on him later. But I want to support cleverness, and Flossin in the Flex I found clever enough to mention, and it certainly stuck with me. So it's a good start. It's a good ad. But I need to see more. When I go to look at your Instagram, I need to see more. Otherwise, I think you're a serial killer. I think that your whole sign up there is to lure unsuspecting travelers in there so you can murder them and then clean up your flex later, because no one can floss in a dirty flex. So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Just go out there, and I'll even tag you when I Instagram this, and you can tell me why I need to keep talking about you, because I thought it was clever. And just so you know, Mr. Flossin, or Indaflex, I don't know which one you go by, Mexico and Salt Lick was where I saw your vehicle. So you were definitely out in St. Peter's in our neck of the woods. So let me know. The other one I saw would have been, and this one had a much better website. This is Adams Foundation Repair and Waterproofing, and their website is adamsfoundationrepair.com. I can only assume by the very, very expensive and nicely done van wrap that it is a water repair or foundation repair or water system things, or be water penetration into your foundation. That's not why I did it. I brought him up. His license plate, and forgive me, I mean, this should be public information. People can see your license plate, but your license plate was text me, TEXT-me. Now, two things. Again, this was clever enough, and it grabbed my attention enough that if I ever need foundation repair, you're certainly going to be one of the first people I call, because I can remember because of the van wrap. But more importantly, your license plate said text me. I feel like this is badly underutilizing what that license. I don't even know what it could be for. Maybe a cab service or a rideshare service or maybe a phone service, adult phone service. I don't know. But the Text Me I want to know how you lucked into such a great license plate. And I can't say it's painfully underutilizing that license plate because it made me remember you. In fact, I've now gave you like 2 minutes. So good job on that. Again, I just like clever stuff. The foundation repair one I know is a little boring, but the Flossing into Flex Flossing into Flex guy, he's got to get his shit together because he had a real good attention grabber, good name, nothing on his Instagram. Picture of his face. He seems like an all right guy. A little bit of a chunky black man. I mean, he looks friendly. Looks friendly as can be. I want to ride in your Flex because I have on good authority. It's Flossing. So, fix your shit, and maybe one day we'll reach out to you. I mean, he needs a license plate that says Text Me. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe I'm combining these worlds. They should give it up. Or Flossing Flex. I don't know how you do that. FLSNFLX. That should be his license plate. Look into that, too. I give that to you. That's for you. The only other thing of super major note that I have to bring up today is that I had to run to Lowe's to pick up some fluorescent light bulbs, which these things aren't easy to grab anymore. I mean, I thought, when I'm at Target, I'll just get one. No. Walmart, no. Nobody. You got to go to damn Home Depot or Lowe's. And I didn't really want to, but I did anyway. So I went in there. I get them. This is a Lowe's that both the wife and I went to, I think, last week. And this is the same checkout girl that we dealt with on the self-check, the self-check registers. And this is the same girl. She's very awkward. I hate to, really give her a hard time, but she's also kind of nerdy. And she was friendly. She was super friendly, and I strike a conversation with everybody. So the first time I was with my wife, I talked to her. We talked to her. And this time, though, very slow day at Lowe's, but I'm checking out, no one around me. I'm checking out, scanning my little light bulbs, and I go to pay, and she just dances up beside, and she's dancing, like dancing. Now, I don't mean she dances up beside as in like she gives me a booty bump, but she dances close enough, it grabs my attention, and I go, hey, somebody's in a good mood, and she goes, well, how can you not dance when St. Elmo's Fire's playing? And I was like, oh, is that what's playing? I didn't even hear it. In fact, I don't think that she could hear it. I don't know that St. Elmo's Fire, maybe it was all in her head. Maybe now that I'm thinking that, I'm reevaluating this entire conversation. But she said, yeah, she goes, I've never even seen the movie, but I just love the song. So, I make the typical old man joke that, yeah, well, the movie's way older than you are. And it probably would have been massively older than her. And she goes, yeah, but most things that are cool are older than me. She goes, look, take Star Wars, for instance. It's way older than me, but I've probably seen it 100 times on each one. So I thought, well, shit. This isn't just a poor, awkward girl. This is a nerd. This is a geek. This girl is like our target demographic. So I was like, well, I'm going to banter with her, being the hip, cool old guy that I am. And I said, oh, yeah, you big Star Wars fan? And she goes, yep. And I said, so you've been watching The Mandalorian? And she, stone-faced, said, no, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. And I said, oh, you too bad you're missing out on Baby Yoda. And she goes, I don't even know what that is. And I go, Disney Plus, and she goes, oh, I don't do a lot of things on the internet. I don't have Facebook or anything. And I was shocked. So either I'm a bigger nerd than she is, or her awkwardness extends way past what I thought it did. I mean, I'm really not painting a good picture on this. I mean, everybody knows this person. She's the kind of person that doesn't look in your eye when she talks to you normally. Cute girl for being painfully awkward. Seems like a kind of girl that she's cute enough that were she in a geek convention, she'd find some kindred spirits, maybe her soulmate. But she don't belong there because she didn't know who Baby Yoda is. And by God, if we've learned anything in the last few weeks, that I love Baby Yoda. And I love The Mandalorian as a whole. But not just that. It's one of the most popular things in pop culture right now. And if you're certainly going to dance and proclaim your love for St. Elmo's Fire, and also for the original trilogy, I thought, well, here we're going to have a great conversation, and maybe I don't do this a lot, so don't think I'm this guy, but maybe it would lead to me saying, hey, you should check out the PC Bombcast. I have it on good authority. Those people are from this area, and they talk about some really cool shit like The Mandalorian, Star Wars. Never talked about St. Elmo's Fire, but we're not above it. I love the song. Love the movie. That whole 80s Brat Pack. I loved it. So, I don't know. She continued to kind of talk to me, and it quickly turned into one of those conversations I was trying to sprint away from. Like I was just like 1 foot out the automated sliding door, and I was like, okay, well, have a great day. But clearly we had nothing in common. I thought we did. I thought that I was going to make a new fan, or at the very least, have an interesting conversation about Baby Yoda, which I invite from everyone every day now because he's the coolest thing. You know what? I hear what you're saying about the green Gizmo, but okay, Gizmo up till now was the cutest thing on the interwebs and TV. Now it's Baby Yoda. So, speaking of things on the interwebs, I did see today, and haven't listened to the episode as I record this, that Thames is making amends with Matt F. Basler and going on the Matt F. Basler podcast. I'm very happy about this because, you don't want to see a feud out there in the world. You don't want to see anything that breeds negativity. And I know Matt was hurt on this. And so, way to go, Thames. Way to make it up. But because of how ugly it started, I will not be pulling it from consideration for worst moment in pop culture in 2019, which is a part of our end-of-year six-pack awards for the PC Bombcast, year of 2019. That's one of the categories, worst moment in pop culture, and that's one of your options. The other options, of course, are best moment in pop culture for 2019, best film of 2019, best TV show of 2019, best episode of the PC Bombcast as chosen by the top 4 most downloaded episodes, and then the category that has drawn the most heated debate or heated conversation would be best guest of 2019. The options are Jim Owsley and Ben Sawyer, writer and artist for Butcher Queen, and I believe issue 3 of that is out soon. So if you've never read it, get to your local comic book store, and if they don't have it, demand it. You might even still be able to back order the original 2 from Red 5 Comics, and if it's sold out, I'm sure they'll go to the second printing, or at least get on board before the trade paperback comes out, so you know. Just go get the book is all I'm saying. Great guest, one of our best episodes of the year, I think, one of the top downloaded episodes. So they were on here, and then I made a joke about the Silver Badger being on here as a guest because he's a reoccurring guest. He's actually still a host, but it's part of me jabbing him for being so busy of late, not lately. But and then there's the 2 guests that really have driven the most conversation on the Facebooks and whatnot, and that would be Matt of the Matt F. Basler podcast, very good, very, very exceptional podcast, and then that would be one Shane Presley of a very well-known podcast called the Rock Paper Podcast. Shane comes on at least a couple of times a year, and by all accounts has been a good friend of the show. But I wanted to really touch base one more time on this and make sure people know, one, it is a rigged system. You vote as often as you like. Vote now, vote often. And 2, don't vote because the cool kid always gets it. The prom king doesn't always need your vote. Some people have awards, so don't vote them just because you know they have awards or just because you know their podcast. Take the time and listen to the episodes. And if you do, then you vote with a clear conscience. I like to say an open mind, a big heart, and a clear conscience, and see which episode you think deserves the win. And I'm not leaning you one way or the other. It could be that Shane needs a second or third or fourth award or however many awards he has. It could be that it may mean more to someone like Matt who doesn't have as many awards as Shane, but by God, in a perfect world, should have just as many awards. So I've heard. So just do that. Check it out. See what you think, and then vote. Other than that, though, the only other things I have to talk about is, one, this is a good one, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this the Throw It to Missy segment. This is a good one. We have a new laptop for the podcast. Thank you to The Flop. It was an early Christmas present for this podcast host. It's smaller. It's going to be easier to set up when I'm on location and whatnot, and it's quicker because the other one at this point, it was now 4 years old. And that's a pretty good life. I'm still going to use it to do all the art and stuff because I don't want to bog this one down with a whole bunch of files like I did the other one. In fact, I cleaned the other one up, and now it works pretty quick, so now I should go back to using it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick it out with this one. So we're happy about that. So hopefully that means bigger and better things, because to be honest with you, one of the reasons I haven't went and done a lot of shows on location again, because it's getting tiresome of logging in the laptop, the soundboard, and all that. So remember, this year I'm trying to scale down, make it smaller to do our things. And still we're gonna get out there. I'm gonna try to get out there more. I definitely want to go hit Apotheosis Comics. I want to talk to the guys in My Posse and Effect. They've been super awesome, reaching out here and there. Plus, I know a guy that knows them, may even play in the band. But some other things like that. Also, I feel like I should bring up that in the Bohagan household, in the estate Bohagan, the Christmas tree's up and the Christmas lights are on outside. I only bring that up because we're closing in another year, and that means a year-end episode, which we've already got the idea for the year-end episode, which will be the giving out the winners of the awards and whatnot, and maybe we'll have one of the people on who was on the awards. But also, we're closing in on episode 200. As I record this, like I said at the beginning, this is 190. I want to really do something good for episode 200. I've almost done putting together all of the outtakes and unreleased stuff, like the pre-roll and things like that. The only things I'll have to put on is as each week goes by, I'll add whatever that is on this. And spoiler alert, there's nothing before this. I wasn't in here talking to myself, which is, by the way, it's a bit surreal when you're sitting here and recording by yourself. And I'm just staring straight forward at my comic books or this little short punch-up that I had so I didn't forget my topics. But anyway, so I want some ideas. Last time, when we did episode 100, we did like 2 or 3 episodes over the week, and I released them over the week, and I'm still up for that. Obviously, we're going to release the episode, outtakes episode for 200 outtakes. We'll do a regular episode, do our darndest to get all 4 of us on that. In fact, I wouldn't really want to do it at all if it wasn't for all 4 of us. And then there's some kind of special episode, whether that's a special guest or just an on-location conversation, whatever it is. Maybe I just any ideas anyone could come up with, we would love. I would love. In fact, I would go do like a recording at Shamrocks or Beer Sauce or somewhere like that. And anybody that would want to come out while we were recording, I would let them come out. I'd keep an extra mic open for them to just chime in on the episode, something like that. I think that would be a blast. Maybe that'd be the regular episode and how we do it. But regardless, I want your ideas. So send them via the Twitters or the Facebooks, or just email them to pcbombcast@gmail.com. Just reach out to us, or even on Instagram, you can say it on there. So whatever the case, I'd really like to do something very fun. Maybe play a game again. I'd like to do more of that again. So just as you're hearing this, it's very hard for all 4 of us guests, but it's always easy for me, but since I'm the guy that records, edits, and does it all. I'd like to do more things like, Super Fight. I've had this game for a while. We've never played it. I'd like to play it on the air. I'd even like to give Drunk Quest another go on and live feed it, whatever the case. So just do me a favor and let us know what you want for the next 100 episodes, and then let us know what you want for the 200th episode. What would be a cool idea? And go vote on the PC Bombcast 2019 6-pack of year-end awards. I will sit that link back out again. I might even do a little short video here in a little bit. And so that's it. That's all I've got to say. I think, my God, I tried to go 30 minutes, but I got at least 30 minutes, but it looks like I fell a little short, but that's okay. Again, I just wanted to get something out before Thanksgiving. So we're going to try to get together with the boys maybe Wednesday night, see if they've got time. I know it's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so it should be an easy night to drink. We'll see what happens. But appreciate it. No one's here to give their catchphrase a sign off, so I'm just going to play the music and say thanks. Oh, and thanks.